Alright boys, Sunday morning. We got a little trunk or treat event we're getting ready to roll out to, so let's get to it. Boys, you see that right there? We got ourselves our custom made bucket from yesterday. Got some candy. Let's get going. God damn, boys. She looking good. God damn. Well, I don't have my own personal vehicle here, so I only had one particular thing I could really show. So I broke out my creeper, got me a spot right here. Just gonna try to make this look nice. And look how clean that is. It's just fucking clean. Don't want anybody touching it. It's got fresh paint, solid welds. Alright, so just seen this comment right here, and we're going to get back into it. And yeah, we're going to get talking about it. Alright, so when it comes down to cutting edges, usually most guys are going to grab for the old hammerhead, and then basically you would just loosen the nut off of the cutting edge, right? Well, the downfall to it is, obviously you need to have one hand operation to operate your gun, and then you're on the other side trying to hold the hammer. Well, that ain't going to work. Now I can put that magnet right on top of the actual flat spot of the head and just go ahead and take the nut off. Now it works well as long as the square is still actually square. If this gets round, then you're kind of fucked and you're left with only one option, which is to break out that guy right there. Now all three options are viable. They all work. To say I came up with the idea, I did not. So basically our safety department, when I was still at the cat dealer, had so many injuries in a particular time frame for guys basically cutting their hand pretty bad, and came up with that idea. And a lot of guys weren't really on board. That's how I obtained two magnets. And to be honest with you, I love the idea. It works out great for install and removal. Obviously the latter end of it all is you pretty much end up torching them, some of them off anyway, but I do enough fucking cutting edges in a month that I could probably go and get 3, 4, 5 more of those and make my life even that much easier. But just to add a little bit more information about the particular magnet, there you go. There's your part number and a website where you can purchase these. They are 90-pound pull magnets, so they're pretty decently strong, especially if you're doing panels and shit. They also do help. All right, boys, it's Monday. It's cold. And if you didn't know, we've already added more lights to the front, so let's get to it. Boys, back on the old Hitachi 85, we got our micro switches, so let's get them installed. Boys, there's your Deere part number for this whole harness setup here with the 2 micro switches. All right, boys, so we got it all installed. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Let's verify it works.
Hitachi.
Yeah, it works. Alright, 336 next gen. Apparently he's having issues with the hydraulic interlocks. Let's take a look at it. Boys, so you see left joystick switch number 2 is currently off, right? It's a momentary switch. Alright, so if you mess with it enough, it'll hang on. And it is currently that button right there. So, guess what? If that is on, you have no hydraulic function. But if it is off, alright, just take a pick it out. And then look, it's off. And it works. I need to order a button for this fucking thing. Yay. I asked this question a lot. What's the part number for the horn button and the additional buttons that are on both grips? And there you go. Deere 300D doing some weird shit with the master switch. Pretty sure it's not supposed to do this floppy shit. Well, I'll take apart the back panel and you guys see it right there. Completely broke on the inside, outside. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and replace it. And there's your part number there, boys. Let's get her swapped out. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and fire it up, make sure it starts. Yay. Fixed it. While we have the 300D, let's go ahead and change that shit, because we got a new one. Pre-filter has definitely seen better days. Man, this truck's like a whole new truck now. New master switch, new pre-filter, all that shit. Look at that. Like a fucking brand new truck. Back on the old Hom here. Got the belts for it, and let's get them installed real fast. Installed. Have a great night, boys. Okay, so deep down, I just want to have a conversation with the Hom engineer, or I guess Deutsch engineer, who thought, oh, this was a good idea for a tensioner. This was a great idea. We should do more of this. Stupid. Good rock you go. Honest with you. These quick ratcheting ends, open-ended wrenches, for the win. I found the only job ever that I've ever been able to use it properly, and it's right there. Made that a lot quicker. Hey, now we can go home. Alright, so comment here. You don't have to remove the paint, speaking of cutting edges, the mating surface of the cutting edge before install. And you might be right. Hell, I mean, you might get away with it. But you got a mating surface on the bucket, right? Then you have the mating surface of the cutting edge. Well, who's to say that paint isn't slung on there really thick, and over time it causes an issue with the torque of the hardware. So I'm not necessarily, let's say, making it to the point where it's back down to bare metal. What I'm trying to do essentially is rough up the surface so there's not really any issues when it comes down to torquing it into position. That's all. I mean, it's the same thing. You wouldn't take a bucket and reinstall a cutting edge if you haven't cleaned the lower edge of the bucket, would you? I mean, it's all the same. You just want everything to be clean and flat, so when you install it, it goes on well and it torques well. That's all I give a fuck about. I just don't want the damn hardware falling out and I gotta drive to go back and repair it. All right, boys. If you've got heavy iron, then more than likely you're gonna need something from time to time. And let me go ahead and tell you who you need to be contacting. That's right, boys. My boy Quentin over at Iron King. That's right. Sent us out some really cool merch here. But on a serious note, if you're looking for something, he's definitely the guy to contact. When I had an issue with an 858K that we needed a final drive for, he was actually one of the first people I contacted. Aside from that, he's got a badass YouTube channel. You need to check it out. Remember, Iron King, boys. Check it out. All right, boys. Monday number 2 on the docket. Let's get to it. That's how we're going to start Tuesday, huh? This is what we're going to do. Shelf just said, fuck your mom, and just fell. Awesome. Hey, boom. A couple of cat bolts later, and shelf's reinstalled, no longer yeeted. Let's get to work. 624K! Tires low. Install, and bring the noise. Slow.
Hello, we're leaking.
So we got the system pressurized, got our cap on there, and yeah, kind of what I thought. Clamp, no more leaking. All right, 672 GP. We've had some issues intermittently with the EGR circuit, so we're going to hook up to it and see what we got going on. Right, so currently, these are all stored codes, but engine power derate, EGR flow, signal out of range low, and slightly low. And you see at least one of them, or both of them actually, have maxed out. If you guys see right there, this harness is rubbing. So we're going to peel that back and verify it's okay, and then we're going to check our 5-volt and make sure our signal mirrors, and then we'll probably check it back to the A5502 and see what's going on. Alright guys, you see right there, the plastic coating from the cover has worn into the signal wire. That's awesome. Alright, so we've made our repairs, cut back into the harness a little bit further to verify if we have any other problems, taped it all up in that John Deere green. So we'll go ahead and run the harness check, make sure everything's good to go, and then put it back in service. Alright, so we'll go ahead and run the harness check. And we got no codes, everything's functioning at this time. So boys, so we just finished a regen just to verify everything in the EGR circuit's fine. Double check for codes, no code. And everything seems to be reading correctly off the EGR flow sensor. So I think we're good to go. Alright boys, so I got our buttons for the 336. Today we felt the chill. Winter's coming, boys. And I was at the dealer, got a new hat with the sock combo. Let me tell you, I haven't had these socks in a minute, and I remember they were comfortable as shit. But we needed the hat today, boys. Even at 54 degrees out, it feels like it's 30. God damn, is it cold. I can't do this shit. I need to move south. I need to move south. All right, now, boys, this job is not difficult by any means. The biggest issue you're going to run into is taking the top portion of the joystick apart. Take your time. Don't use those final drive muscles. Just use delicacy. And getting the wires out is not that difficult. Just take your time and pull it through. Again, it is a connector, so switch, I'm sorry, 2-pin, no big deal. Goes right into the 6-pin connector here. It'll focus. There you go. So pins 1 and 6 are for the horn. Now you just reassemble. All right, boys, it's Wednesday. Either get humped or be humped. Just get to it. So we're starting the morning out. We got a couple of machines we got to go and top fluids off on. D6K2, low on coolant. And this trash right here, we got to top off Hito. We're a little low on the D6K2. Looks like we may have some wetness at the bottom of the radiator or that lower radiator hose. Probably just got to tighten that shit up. We got one cold weather leak right here. And another one right there. So we tightened up the clamp there, adjusted the hose a little bit, fixed all of our little cold weather leaks. So moving on to the next one. It's a little low. Let's go ahead and take care of that. And good to the last drop. Boys, back on the old Next Gen 336, we got our button. We're going to get started with that. And we also have a coolant leak we're going to fix off the def injector. All right, so we got a 3-wire button. There's your part number right there. And right down here, I wrote down exactly the numbers you need, pinouts, for the 3 individual wires for that button. Now you got 2 connectors here. This is where your red and black go. And then in this wire connector right here, pin 12, that's where your white wire goes. With the old and with the new, boys, let's go ahead and check statuses. All right. On, off. On, off. So next thing on the docket here, fix coolant leak at the def injector. So we got one hose that's supplied from the surge tank. So we're going to replace the line and the surge tank on this unit. All right, new tank, new line installed all the way back to the def injector. We're ready to rock and roll. Decal fell off. It's good. All right, 850K. Apparently we don't have lights on this machine. So, yeah. What do you need lights for? You got lights in the back. You got one light in the front. What about this guy? We have system voltage, but lights no working. So, all right, new bulb and new little jumper harness as well. Tell how well I know deer because I totally missed on the ones on the side. Oops. We just need more light bulbs. Awesome. All right, boys, got all the lights taken care of on this here unit. All right, time to get back to PMs. Yay. All right, boys, Hitachi 85 from the other day. We got to do a service on, so let's get to it. I love it. You know, you're doing a service and boom. We don't need to put fuel in the machine. That big ammo, come on. Just by looking at that oil, you can go ahead and cue stained on that one. It's been a while. American-made John Deere.
Oil filter.
Yummy. Remember, boys.
Change your muffler filter every 3,000 hours.
And done. All right, boys. It's wet. We got a warm day. And it's Friday, Junior. Let's go. The morning out. D6K2 from yesterday. And what the fuck is that? It's raining, and yeah, they tried to do something with this. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and change that, because well, that's mo better. And this fucking thing. How do you run these fuckers over? You fuel up, you put the fucking cap back on. I don't get it. You do it with your personal car. Why can't you do it with equipment? Happens all the fucking time. Like, god damn it. All right, so we got plenty of filters, we got oil, we got more in the truck, we got a long ride ahead of us, all the way to there. Time to service 300D finally. All right, boys, pump out rig hooked up. Let's bring the noise. A little bit of 60-90 action for you guys today. Got both of them rolling right now, boys. For Deere, some assembly required oil filters. Gotta love it. That's with you, boys. The old pump out method might take a little bit more time, but a day like today where it's raining, cloudy, and you're just shitty out, I don't have to lay in that shit. That's a win in my book. It's a win. I think this one particular axle breather, it's breathed enough. Possibly its last breath. I must be my site, but like cabin filters around here, they just don't last for shit. How's your lungs, my boy? And done. All right, 2024 Kenworth T880 with a MX-13 engine. Doing a 20K service on this unit right here. By 20K, that basically means we're just changing the oil and the fuel filters. Service intervals on this, have you guys looked this shit up for these trucks? It's like 60,000 miles for OTR. Or if it's severe duty, it's like 45. It's fucking mind-blowing. But vocational, they want you to go at least to 40, and I'm not doing that shit. All right, boys, so we got the old units out, new units ready to go. There's your part number right there. If you're looking for your MX-13 fuel filter kit, boom, there you go. Make sure you guys are torquing these down to 80 Newton meters. All right. By far one of the weirdest looking hand primers I've ever seen. Not sure if this is the appropriate recommended way of changing the oil, but for the most part, this is what's working, because I knew this shit was going to come out like a 6-7 power stroke, so I'm just going to go and say it out loud for people in the back. This is a fucking engineer's wet dream when it comes down to just basic maintenance. And 60 Newton meters. There you go. This thing is an over-engineered piece of plastic. I'm going to use the oil that would be usually used in an over-engineered piece of plastic. So. And done. Coupling decided to want to give out, so boys, look at that rig right there. At least it's airtight. Boys, look at the differences right here. Okay, so the one on the right side here, oil sample wise, is from the D6K2, about 3 months before the engine, well, decided to knock its way out. And on the left side, this is the new engine, tested with about 300 hours on that oil. And that's a world of difference right there. Oil samples for the win, boys. Get them, do them. If you have any questions, specifically if you have a Perkins engine, make sure you're doing your oil samples, especially when it gets up there in high hours. Might save you something down the road.